I want to briefly review your exercise on writing the lead. Now, I have reviewed most of your leads and I've given you the samples from the lead writing exercise. And again, for those of you who don't have a journalistic background, this is an exercise for you to get in the habit or to see how to write the first paragraph of your story to make it punch and summarize and capture attention. For those who maybe have a journalistic background, hopefully this is a review and a good exercise to sharpen your skills. One thing that I see students do a lot, especially if you don't have a journalistic background, is they tend to write the lead as if they might be writing a headline or a TV news intro to a story that the anchor might be tossing to. Writing a lead in a print story or an online story is not the same as a headline, and it is not the same as a TV intro. It is a full sentence, and it includes a subject-verb operation. So if you're looking at your lead and you see that you don't have an actual verb in your sentence or the verb is implied, you've probably written more of a headline or a TV news intro. So take a look at that, revise it, and write a full sentence. Another thing to always include, is to only include, when you're writing a straight news lead story, this is what we call straight news, hard news, is only include the key facts that are the most important details for a reader to get. Sometimes the person's name is not as important in the lead sentence. If the person is not well known, putting that in the lead sentence is only going to distract, because you always have to answer who is this person, or why does this person matter to me. So only the key facts should be in your first sentence or your first paragraph, your lead paragraph. So for example, on the sample that I gave you on your lead writing exercise, sometimes some students would actually include the person's name and maybe even where the intersection was. Some of those details, while you would put them down further in your story, would be included. In your first paragraph, they're not as important to capture. What you want to do is include the most important facts. So in this case, a person died and 2 firemen are in the hospital, or they were injured in a crash. And the crash actually happened to be a false alarm. So that is also another detail that I thought was important to include in the story, because it really was an unnecessary incident. It didn't have to happen. It was a false alarm, and this is what happened. So those are the key facts that you would want to include in a story like this. Now, if the person were someone who is well known, let's say like a congressman, or even the president of the United States, or something that big, or some celebrity, someone who is well known, that might be important to include in your lead. But in this case, unless the person is locally well known and you're writing for a local paper, we don't know that, so I would not include that information in the first lead sentence. So again, lead sentences are full sentences. They have subject, verb, and only the most important details should be included. Another thing that's very important to remember, and this is why you only include the key facts, is you want to capture attention right away, especially in online news. You have your headline, which should capture attention, but your first sentence should always answer the question to the reader: why should I care? What does this matter? People by nature care about, when somebody's injured or someone died. That's tragic, that appeals to that touches our heart. We want to know more. Or whatever the information is, you always want to capture the attention of your reader. And you do that by answering, why should I care? Why should I read this story? You put that in your first sentence, in your lead paragraph, and that will constitute a good, solid, eye-captivating or capturing lead. Now, there are different styles of lead writing. Most of these were kind of straight news style writing. So one example is also, you could write the first sentence, maybe it's just a capturing headline to capture attention, and in the second paragraph you include the key details. So for example, in your second story, this was more of a capturing, I'm including key details, but I'm more capturing attention. It says, if you drive a small car, you could be at greater risk for injury or costly repairs. And then I put the attribution, the Highway Loss Data Institute, at the end there. So who it was reported by is not as important as what was reported. I put the key information there, and then my second paragraph will probably follow up with some of those key and details. That gives more details that the reader is going to want to know. If I drive a small car, why would I be at greater risk? Those kinds of questions will be answered as I follow it down in the story. And then I'm not going to go over all of these, but just as another example, the key detail in this story is that hot dogs are a deadly choking hazard for children. So if you're a parent, you're going to want to care about this story. I put the information right up front, and then of course I put the attribution, who was reported by. It was in an article by the Journal of American Medical Association. And then, so I'm going to want to probably, as a parent, going to read down further and answer the question, why? Why is this a choking hazard, or what can I do about it? And those are key information. That's the key information that you want to include in a lead. Again, the most important details go at the top in a straight news lead story. If you capture attention and you don't have that information, is you want to follow that up in your second paragraph. And then it always has the subject-verb operation. Always answer the question to your reader in your lead story, and this is true in any story that you write, whether that your character profile, your event story that we just did, your business story, and so forth. Always answer the question to the reader: why should I care about this story? Why should I read further? And so that's just some review points for your lead writing exercises. And again, as I always say, if you have any questions or need a little bit of guidance on it, you can always shoot me an email.